Hi, I'm Sonja Daniels, and I am a homeschooling mom who actually mills her own wheat and makes her own bread, pasta, and any kind of goodies. And so I'm just gonna let y'all know what a mom of 3 does when her kids go to sleep. So I really love Napoleons. It's a delicious dessert with like a custardy frosting and layers of flaky crust. But since I have switched over about 2 years ago to milling my own wheat, I haven't been able to enjoy that dessert without it hurting my stomach. So my birthday's coming up and I'm the only one that can really make my cake. I guess my husband could learn, but anyway, so I am actually in the process of figuring out and trying a new recipe for Napoleon. So I'm just going to show y'all a little bit about I guess milling. And so just want to show you, this is where I keep my wheat berries. This is my soft white wheat, and this is best for cookies and cakes and pastries. So we're just going to take a little bit because I've already started, but I just wanted to be able to show y'all what it looks like. So this is my Nutri-Mill, and I'm just going to pour the wheat berries in there. So it is going to be a little loud, so you just have to bear with me. And you can watch the berries go down. Here goes. So there they go. Okay, so I had already milled some, but I really, I don't know if you can hear me, but I have already milled enough flour, but I really wanted you to be able to see what it actually looks like. So I'm gonna pull this out right here. This little comes out. I'm gonna move over here to my working station. I had already have started on the dough for the Napoleons, but I said, you know what? I have had people ask me to, you know, do like a video or something, or like just let others know about freshly milling. So that is what I'm doing. So I'm actually halving this recipe. So what I'm gonna do is, this recipe calls for your flour to be sifted. One of the biggest reasons why you're supposed to sift flour is if it has been sitting compact in a bag on a shelf somewhere, where I just milled this. So it is light and airy. That's one of the reasons why you sift, is to aerate your flour, to kind of like loosen it up. Well, I don't need to do that because this was just freshly milled and it has lots of, you know, fluffiness to it. It hasn't just been sitting stale in a bag somewhere. So this recipe actually calls for 6 cups of sifted flour. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to, let's see, I am going to just do half the recipe. This little compartment right here, this was attached to that right there. That catches all the loose flour so that it doesn't go flying all over your house. That's one of the reasons why I did not get an attachment for my mixer. I bought the Nutri-Mill because it catches it. It's not as messy. I mean, baking, of course, if you know, gets messy. Oh, perfect. Exactly 3 cups. So what I'm going to do now is I put my flour in there. Now I'm going to put my lid. This recipe also had the measurements broken down. It had it broken down into grams. So I had to look up, you know, I just didn't know. So I had to look up, like, well, how much butter is you know, 400 grams. And so it roughly, well, I didn't have to actually convert it. I have a scale that has, you know, it tells you the measurements in grams, and so I was able to measure it out. So I'm halving this recipe. So it called for 400 grams, so I'm only doing 200. So what I've done over here is I have a little scale, put it on 0. This is not really the exciting part, but you can just see what I'm talking about as far as like measuring up your butter. I like to use grass-fed cows, and then some measuring at 192:1. Okay, so well, I don't know, my scale's a little wonky. So let's see. Let's just add another little chip on there. It keeps going back and forth, back and forth. All right, so that looks good. I think it looks good. I don't know. It's going a little crazy. 214. We're gonna go with that. So so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna cube up this cold butter. You want it to still be cold. I'm gonna throw it in my food processor and get it going, and then I'll be right back with the next step. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is we're gonna come over here, and I dropped 1 egg in there, and I have some homemade vanilla that a dear friend was gracious enough to make me. And this is apple cider vinegar, which it calls for vinegar. I don't just have regular white vanilla in here because there's so many benefits to organic vinegar that has the mother in it. So, and I can go over that another time. Y'all just let me know what you want to hear. But this recipe called for vodka, and I don't just have any vodka laying around, but this vanilla is made with vanilla beans and vodka. So I'm just using that. So it may add a little extra taste. We'll see. This is my first time making this recipe. So I'll be right back. All right, so now I have incorporated my egg, my vanilla vodka, my vinegar, salt, and cold water. And I've already added my flour and my cubed cold butter and pulsed it. And so now what I'm going to do is I am going to pour this in here. And by the way, this is the first time I've used this food processor. So I just opened it and set it up. So just for y'all and just for this for this cake. Like, I'm really excited. So here we go. So this part's going to be a little tricky because you've got to kind of spoon it out or use a spatula. So that's what it looks like. Not really like dough, but this is like a pastry dough. So it is going to be extremely sticky. And so what I'm going to do is I have a spatula that I've been using, and I'm going to just kind of like dip it out of there straight onto some plastic wrap, and I'm going to ball it up and wrap it a couple of times because you don't want it to get dried out, and then I put it in the refrigerator for later. You want it to sit in there for 1 to 2 hours to chill, and then after that, that's when we'll start the baking. So it is quite a few processes. Okay, so this is what your dough looks like once you have scraped it all out of there. And they say, the recipe says you can knead it a little more, but the biggest thing about kneading it with your hands is the heat from your hands is going to melt the butter, and that's kind of the whole way we get the fluffy, flaky dough. So anyway, I'm going to ball it up, and then I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator.